Our next agenda item is,
hold on. Consider application for Class A license for Spring Feast LLC, doing business as BP Pantry, 41, 1604 East Capitol Drive, Shorewood. Owner Alicia Walia, sorry.
hi Alicia, what do you need to say?
And I apologize, I'm not eloquent. I normally wake up at 4 a.m., so this is very late.
I hear ya.
I'll try my best though. Originally I think I applied for this license back maybe a year and a half ago. It took a while, and the staff dug up some code that said that this type of licensing isn't allowed in retail with stores that are fueling facilities, gas station plus convenience store. So that situation. This has also been, the same code has also existed in the city of Waukesha as well as the city of Pewaukee, who have since recently changed that code, and not for the worse. Therefore, they now allow this product to be sold just like at Walgreens or any other place. As far as the Class A specifically, I was corrected towards that because in the village of Shorewood, you're not allowed to sell wine and beer, or no, you can sell beer separately, but you can't sell wine because it's lumped into the Class A for liquor, because my intent is not to sell liquor, but it's to sell wine as well. But I'm also open-minded to only selling beer. And then further back to what triggered me wanting to get this license, was that I'll have like moms of families, generally 40s to 50s, coming in, asking if we sell beer. And we sell a lot of other convenient items, and I would like to add this to that. I think that's it.
So they were at the JPL committee last meeting. There was a few questions that had to come out of the committee. So at that time, the committee did not have a referral. They did not have enough information on what was presented in front of them. So the three questions were, what was the history of policy 16, which basically says that we do not allow gas stations to sell. I could not dig up a lot of history on our end. I did reach out to the Department of Revenue, which they kind of figured that, based upon what was said in our policy, that we adopted because the city of Milwaukee adopted an ordinance restricting granting Class A's for beverage and for malted beverage and liquor, so that they wouldn't have a gas station on every corner selling something. They said with being neighbors to Milwaukee, that's the only reason we can, probably adopted it was around the same time. So how many licenses are available? We have 3 currently. There are 6 total licenses. Shorewood does put a cap on their Class A's.
By ordinance.
By ordinance, correct. So the current holders are Russian Food and Gifts, Kensington Liquor, and Walgreens. Thompson's User Pharmacy holds a Class A for just malt beverage. How many feet does an establishment need to be from a school? Unless waived by a majority vote of the governing body, a liquor license may not be issued within 300 feet of the main entrance of a church, school, or hospital. That's the statute. So the distance between the licensed premises and the church, school, or hospital is measured by the shortest route along the highway from the main entrance of church, school, or hospital to the main entrance of the licensed premise. The restriction does not apply to a restaurant located within 300 feet. If their gross sales are 50% or higher. The restriction also does not apply to a premise covered by a license prior to June 30th, 1947. The restriction does not apply to beer-only licenses, and the restriction does not apply to Class A cider licenses, which that's what they are not requesting. So those were the 3 questions that the committee had at the time. Any other questions?
So for clarification, did you say Milwaukee changed? Milwaukee sells
They do not yet. No, they did not. The Department of Revenue feels that that's why we adopted the policy we did, is because Milwaukee passed that ordinance, and they still hold true to that ordinance.
And anybody else in this area?
I did not follow up with Whitefish Field.
All right. Trustee Mendel.
So I see the map here. Oh, the green circle is 300 feet?
Correct.
Oh,
correct. So it's not to the entrance. So that green circle is the outline of the 300 feet.
Trustee Maher?
So this is a Class A parenthesis,
Yep.
so it's 9 sales are restricted, they can't from 9 PM to 8 AM in the morning? We would have to stop selling at 9 PM, is that, okay?
9 PM, is that
That's
consistent with the rest of?
That's the state statute, yep.
Trustee Warren and then Trustee McKay.
I'm pretty sure we don't have an answer to this, but does anyone know the rationale behind Milwaukee's policy? We said we followed suit on them, but I'm curious as to what the rationale is.
Yeah, they don't, the Department of Revenue found at the time, the reason the ordinance was passed, and the woman has been there for like 30 years, that was that they didn't want somebody selling some sort of alcohol like every other door down the road. You know, if they had a gas station or a mini mart, or that everybody could obtain a liquor license of some sort to sell, to have alcohol on the road.
My assumption too, and I could be wrong, but is competition. I mean, it depends on who is lobbying. It could be a grocery store, it could be, I mean, we have to think of that as well, just.
Well, my assumption would be because you're there to get gas, or you're driving, and it's a driving-related business, that we don't want to encourage selling alcohol in connection with people who are in their cars.
Trustee McKay, I'm sorry.
I do recall that, a little line of thought. A few years ago, a gas station kind of tested the waters with an application to see if we were ready to waive that. And that was part of the discussion. And then just because of the, the recent increase that we just have a more vibrant business district and we have more businesses and more, I guess, outlets for liquor. I just have never felt that we needed to expand to include gas stations. And so I don't feel a need to expand and include it at this time either.
Thank you. I personally would love to see alcohol in gas stations because it makes it more convenient, but in our community, I would have to vote against it just because I know the residents that we represent, in my opinion, would not prefer to have alcohol across from the school or more alcohol outlets at this time. And so I concur for expanding reasons there. Anybody else? Oh, Trustee Rockers?
No, I would just say that I can't profess to know how everyone in the community feels about this. I do, it meets the state statutory requirements. I think we, as a board, I don't know, this is a tricky one. Personally, I could go either way, I don't really care. But I also do think that, if we do allow others, we have liquor license, we have Class A's left, right? We said we had 2 or 3 and
There's 6 total, yeah.
and we've issued 3 already, and we've
We have
allowed.
3 available, yeah, and there's 6 total.
Okay, and I mean, you have to meet state laws as far as to whom you sell, whether or not you're near a school or around the corner from a school. Kensington Liquor is a block away from the school. So I mean, I think I would support this just based on the fact that the applicant meets the requirements.
Trustee Warren?
I mean, I guess my concern here is the underlying policy. And if we start making exceptions to the policy, how do we make those exceptions fairly? I'm not necessarily adverse to taking a look at the policy holistically,
The ordinance.
but if we make exception by exception, I want to make sure we just remain consistent, and it's tough to do that if you're taking them as one at a time.
And it is an ordinance, correct?
What's policy?
Policy
Policy 16, yep.
Yes.
As far as, so this is in regards to Class A, but Class B, there's no limit?
There is a limit.
There's no limit? It's
So,
a-
a lot of municipalities with Class A's do not limit them.
Mhm.
Shorewood has chosen to limit them,
Okay.
which is not also unheard of. But Class B is by population, state
Okay.
statute, yeah.
So-
And how that's figured out.
So do you know the number?
Right now, we have 1 reserve left,
Or,
And 1 regular, correct?
maybe.
and then, just as kind of a response, at least as a customer, from my customers, as a customer from that point of view, sorry, there goes the lack of eloquence. Walgreens, for example, they are considered our drug competitor. They're as close, really, the same customers we have go there for the same products. For example, they offer they offer wine and beer, but it's pretty limited. Like, from a customer's point of view, I don't feel like they offer at least things that I would like to buy. I don't know. And one thing we specialize, at least at my store, is getting things specifically responding to special requests. So it's a different feel than Walgreens, which is more corporate. And if someone, for example, go and get special Asian products from the Asian market for people who really love that kind of stuff. And the list goes on. We really custom fit to the community. So it's not just an across the board that we want to be known for alcohol. It's more I'm someone who both enjoys beer and also cooks with wine. So for me, it's something that's part of culture, and it's not really looking to make the community worse, but to enrich it. So.
And going off of that, and just for your sake, it's once we do it for one,
right.
There'll probably be every gas station coming in. I mean, it's a profit, obviously. Right. You bring profit in, and so I think what Trustee Warren had said, and I concur, is we need to look at our policy, because just the expectation is going to be that everyone, you do it for one, you need to be able to be consistent. So if for any reason it was denied tonight, just say that the vote goes that way. It sounds like someone wants to bring it to review at some point, and then it could, again, in the future, if the policy changed. I'm just saying you could always come back once that policy changed, if it was denied tonight. Right. Trustee Lockers.
Yeah, and I know we talk about this a lot, and I understand the want for consistency. It makes it a lot easier in decision making, but the reality is we're a board that makes decisions at a variety of times. We have antiquated policies, we have ordinances all over the board. And unless you guys as a board really want to prioritize this as something, as far as changing the policy before you're able to make the decision on this, then that's one thing. But then I do think that we do owe it to the business community when we hide behind policy or state this, that if we don't go to the next step and actually look at revising that. Policy is made by boards. Boards are imperfect. We have the option of changing policy at any time. And we also
suspend it.
Right, we certainly could suspend the policy as well. So, and then maybe that's the action that we should take, because then at least it forces our hand a little bit more going forward. Because if we do have a flux of all these applicants, which is I agree, it's a profit generator. It's also a convenience. We have liquor stores on the south end, which is actually in Milwaukee, and then we have one on the north end in Shorewood. So we're not a dry community. We allow we just talked about extension of premises for a breakfast place to allow them to serve alcohol outside. So anyway,
do you want to make a motion?
There's not one made already?
There's two suggestions in the memo if you're looking.
Well, if you want us to send a policy, you put that in there, like you guys did for attendance.
I move to uphold policy number 16 as it stands and deny the application for a Class A license for Spring East LLC doing business as BP Pantry 41, 1603 Capital, Shorewood, Wisconsin, 53211.
Second. Or Trustee Montez. All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 6-1. Manager Evo has requested that we defer trick-or-treating at this time, since we do have a paid consultant attorney here, and move into closed session before we go into is that correct?
To defer to the end of the meeting? Or after closed session, or what?
I would defer to the next.
I would defer to the next meeting.
Yeah, the next meeting.
Why wouldn't we just take it after closed session?
I thought you were worried about time.
Yeah, next meeting is not going to be any less.
Monday.
So do we vote on that? How do you do that? Okay. I make a motion to defer trick-or-treating to the next full board agenda.
Second.
Any further discussion? Guys, so the motion and a second. You want to read it or what?
To defer trick or treat time and date to the next full board agenda.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Okay, now we will move into closed session, is that correct? So we will.
Someone has to read this statement.
I move to adjourn in closed session pursuant to 19.85, 1 G, confer with legal counsel on strategy regarding pending litigation regarding the estate of Jonah
Marcinia.
Martin.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Trustee Maher made the motion, trustee Carpenter seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Roll call vote, never mind.
Trustee Gordon.
Aye.
Trustee Bachhorst.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Menta. Aye. Trustee Carpenter.
Yes.
Trustee McKay.
Yes.
Trustee Rosick.
Yes. All right, roll call vote 7-0.